Hey everybody, welcome to Comics Discourse 114. I'm one of your hosts, Brian Newberry.
I'm Brian Clark.
And I'm Hassan.
And tonight we're doing Top of the Stack. This is where ants goes, Top of the Stack in the background. Sorry, I'm making a joke about the other show. So this is the show where we talk about all the stuff we've been reading over the last couple weeks that are new. It's kind of
New to
Brown Robin
us, at
style.
least.
What's that? New
It's
to us, at least.
New
Yeah.
to us, yeah.
Yeah. I have been getting caught up, y'all, the last like week and a half, because I think I had mentioned my new comic stack is ridiculously large. Um, I think over the last couple of weeks I've read about 110 new comics. I still have like 120 left to go to be current. But I did count, and about 30 of them were X-Men books, so I'm not sure those are going to count anymore. Oh,
Let
who
it
wants
go.
to go first? I'm about at that point, Brian. I really am. Like,
Yeah,
some
you
new
should.
event
You can
started this
be.
week, and I was just like, yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Um,
But X-Men's going to be Maximum soon. Maximum X-Men.
I'm gonna try
So,
that book because it looks cool. I like the team and I like the creator, so fingers crossed. But yeah. All right. I do think we got to start at one book we have been saving specifically for this show. We have all read it. Um, Technically, four issues are out yet, but I'm not sure all of us have read all four of them. But it's only been out a couple weeks, and that is Terminal by Robert Kirkman, Joe Casey. Um, Depending on the issue, Adam Kubert. I'm not sure. Did he do the art on all the four issues that are out?
No, he
no.
did. He
No,
did
because we have
two.
Each one is a different artist.
Well,
we
no,
got David Finch
yep. And
and
Art
then
Adams.
Art
yep, Art
Adams,
Adams on
Yeah,
Andy
this one.
Kubert. Yeah.
yeah. Andy Kubert did one and two because that's the first story arc.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah.
Have y'all read all four?
I read all
No.
four.
Okay. And just to explain to folks, it was another Skybound blind bag situation, and this time the secret was issues two. What were the others? Seven and 10
10. Yep.
in blind bags, some of which have redactions on a few key points, like not
That's
in the art, but in the panels, like in the
mhm.
word balloons. I don't think we'll
Yes.
cover all four of them, but let's just talk about at a high level. First of all, what were your impressions? Brian, how'd you feel about this one?
Um, it feels like a 90s book. Um, Art is awesome all the way across. The story is it's interesting. Anytime we get like these teams of characters I don't know from non-big two publishers, I always am like, is this gonna be like the next uh like authority or something like that?
Hmm.
And so far this is not that. I My problem is that I don't care about any character. I don't think any of them look good and none of them are interesting. So, like, I don't want to spoil issue one, but there is a character I like in there, and they don't return in issue two.
Yes. That's the tryst. That's the tryst. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, they pull you a little bit with here's the focus character, here's your intro to this. You're being brought into this world with this person, and then to Brian's point, they do not return in issue two.
Yeah, like you
Um,
look at all, there's so many covers in the blind bags. Kirkman does a good job of getting you hyped. Like you're like, what in the hell is that? What's that? There's a giant eyeball. Uh, at the end of the end of issue two has me a little more intrigued. Like I will absolutely read issue three, but so far I'm like, come on, one of these characters be cool, be cool.
You
Like,
like the
you think about like these '90s teams, and you're like, The stories weren't great, but there was always like at least an interesting character, at least to look at. Like, and I don't know, name a character from Terminal.
Cyberblade in issue 7.
Rip, Ripclaw.
There's a character in issue 7 drawn by David Finch, which is probably part of the problem because he drew Top Cow. And I looked at her and I'm like, oh, that looks like Cyberblade. She's on the front of the cover. I mean, it's a great design. I did like the designs more, I think, than you did. I think I want to call it a little more grounded though. They're kind of like trying to be, hey, here are superheroes, but they're kind of like not too crazy, which is why
Yeah.
the designs are not probably blowing you out of the water. There's this weird design of a character that's it's like the ugliest looking character design I've ever seen. I agree. The problem, when I read non big two books, I tend to stay away from superhero type books because I'm getting it already from DC and Marvel. And I know, is this going to be Authority or is this going to be a Sovereign 7? I don't know,
Yeah.
Sovereign 7 was a Chris Claremont, book that he did for DC. It was
I love that first issue.
the first issue was fantastic,
Yes,
and
it was.
and then it went downhill after that.
I read it all. Yeah, I know.
I read probably a year of it, but I am interested. I do like the idea of having feature issues. It reminds me of back in the day, Image did some of the titles jumped to the future. I think Stormwatch was one where it went from 9, then 25, then back to 10. So the guy can kind of give you a hint of the future. I think one of the books from Rob Liefeld never actually got to issue 25, ironically. But I like that. Actually, my favorite issue is issue 10. And Brian, if you haven't read issue 10, I think you'll love it. It gave me an Aliens Predator vibe reading the whole issue.
Okay.
Plus, it's art by Art Adams, and it's the character that looks like an alien / predator.
Yes.
Yes. And it's a solo issue basically, and that's my favorite issue actually. I think that because I think the problem is they try to introduce a lot of characters immediately, and it's hard to get interested in these characters because you get pieces of each character. No one blows you away, like you said, Brian. But like issue 10, this was like a solo story, and it really got me in. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it. Yeah.
I mean, I hope that happens in like we have 3, 4, 5, 6 to add some color to this story.
Yeah.
But that's the
But
thing with the time jump, though. I was hoping for or not the time jump, you're
Issue
getting
jump.
issue 7 and 10, almost a year out at this point, and there seems to be some sort of mystery going on between these two teams. It's like, are the heroes really the heroes? Are these bad
Yeah.
guys really the bad guys? What's going on? Like, how are these people getting powers and stuff? But it doesn't even seem like in issue 7 or 10, like any of that's really been explored or telling you.
Hmm.
Like, they only had to black out like one word balloon in issue 10, I think. It just, yeah, I don't know. I think Crusher's supposed to be the main focus character who really just looks like Frenzy from the X-Men to me. Um, yeah, I don't dislike it, but I was really hoping to be blown away, and I'm not. Again, the art's great. I really do
Oh
like the
yeah.
art, but the story is just not like reading 4 issues. You know how we're always like, oh, we love a double-sized first issue from Image because it
Yeah.
really grounds the world and sets the pace. I don't. If it wasn't for the roll call at the beginning of those issues, I couldn't tell you what anybody's name is, and I read 4 of them, and that's a little bit of a problem. Um, or even what these people are doing. Like, I don't know the point of, like, I can't tell you what the hook of this book is.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it did reminds me of Wildcats. Oh, there's two sides and aliens, and I don't know. Yeah, I forgot about the roll call. Yeah, is a goblin. It's in issue 10. Question reminds me of that one character in Stormwatch. I forgot her name. She doesn't join the authority, but she's the only one that survived the alien attack. I totally forgot her name. Um, I mean, I like I said, Thrasher. Yeah, Thrasher's the ugly one. Way ugly. Um, I don't disagree with you, Brian. It didn't blow me away, but I was entertained enough that I'm going to keep with it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll definitely like it's super wild to have these four issues, and I doubt this will happen, but it would be very interesting if he was like, psych, these aren't really what you think they are. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I doubt that's gonna happen. I doubt he's that far
Well, that's
into it.
kind of
But
what I was hoping with these issue jumps. Like issue 10, like everything's completely different. What happened in between issues 1 and 10 to get here? Like that's what I think would be cool to see. And it's just nothing is laying the groundwork for some truly crazy off the wall shit happen. Besides one of these, like I guess issue 7, there's some new character that
Yeah,
appeared in issue 6 that
Blaster.
doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah,
And he got activated, but and I'm kind of thinking, is there some Strike Force Moratori thing going on here where these people get activated and they don't know that they're going to die within a certain time? Like there seems to be something like that going on, but I can't quite tell what.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I'll keep reading for a little bit. I sound down on it. The art is good, but the story is going to need to hook me a little better with these issues in between that I haven't read yet. Um, which honestly, since I've read issues 1 and 2, that'll be like several months before we get something new, and then I might not remember what happened in 1 and 2. So anyway, I do feel like no matter what we thought about this, we needed to talk about it because we had told folks we were excited for it when we talked about
Yes.
comics and magazines. So we owed it to folks to say one way or the other.
I'm still
Again,
excited about it. I own like 10 copies of this comic.
trying to get blind bags.
No, I mean I bought like four blind bags. They're like $5 a piece. And then
Yeah.
so I got some duplicates, and then I just ended up buying the extras on eBay, and then I bought the like crazy David Finch black and white one just because it's awesome. And it's signed by him and Kirkman.
I did end up. I did blind bags. I got duplicates of 10 and 1. Same cover of issue
Yeah.
1. I was like,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
So I ended up buying issues 2 and 7 off eBay instead of going through the blind bag process. So
I will say kudos to them because they at least have 10 issues or more in the can, as we've
they have
discussed, before
18
they even put,
apparently.
yeah, like
Yeah.
they're
So
committed. They've got 18 done already. Who does that before putting a single issue out?
Andy Kubert was on Off Panner, and he explained he's been working on this for 5 years. He did the. I mean, part of it was the initial discussion and the designs that took like 6 months. But yeah, he's been working on this, and so it's it's interesting that this all. Kirkman has the money to bankroll these guys, and they're slow, by the way, so it's good. Although I think Andy Kubert is the fastest compared to David Finch and Al Adams. And I love Andy Kubert. I like, no offense to Adam Kubert, I like him too, but Andy is my favorite Kubert brother. He's one of my favorite Batman artists, actually.
Batman vs. Predator.
Oh, that's right, they did it together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were young when they did it too. I think because they started working. He was explaining that he started lettering when he was like in high school. It's crazy.
Speaking of, I'm not going to say who, but I now have a new favorite Batman artist. So we'll just leave that hanging out there.
What? Who does
What?
that?
Yeah, me.
Wait, you have a new
Ah,
favorite Batman artist?
yes,
Wow, that's a bold statement.
it is. I'm just gonna leave that hanging. So, Brian, what have you been reading?
I read something old that I've wanted to read for a while. Um, and it is Gotham Central.
Oh yes.
I
I
still have never read it, and I got the damn omnibus. You got
I had the
compact then.
omnibus and I sold it because I was like, look, why I've never read this. I haven't read it. I'll just read it in the app. But then I got this. I really like the compact edition.
I do too.
Because I think I paid $8.99 for it. Like that's crazy. And it's got the newsprint feel. I
Yeah.
like for certain comics, it adds like a nice nostalgia to it. And that book, um, the art is by Michael Lark, and I think his work looks good that way. So, um, yeah, because that's issues 1 through 10. That book is very good. It like it, you're like this is. I know why they didn't do it, but they could make a show of that.
I don't know why they didn't actually.
I know
I
why they
don't.
didn't because they can't get because Mr. Freeze is in it and Two Face is in it, and that's like what you want. You're like Batman is in it, but barely. He's
Yeah.
barely in it. Like, and that's it. Like, there's no. I think. Oh, Robin has sort of a tiny little piece of it, but it's a lot of like Detective Montoya has a very, very intriguing story in this. Um, and like the first guy, like I think his name is there's like Detective Fields. It's just really interesting how like you get to hear how the Gotham Police Unit deals with the existence of Batman and the bad guys and how the bat signal works and then how major crimes units deals with like petty crimes and like there's real consequences in this book like what happens when Mr. Freeze Mr. Freeze shoots stuff and stuff is happening around Batman when they're fighting but this is real like a guy takes Mr. Freeze's blast in the mouth spoiler he doesn't make it but the Montoya story, I was like, I've always liked her as a character. But it's just cool to sort like I was thinking you could build like a whole world of comics around Gotham.
Yeah.
Like slice of life stuff. You could probably do it around Spider-Man too. I mean, they kind of do it with like the Bugle, but like it's cool to like watch the world get fleshed out that way.
I, I agree. I think Gotham and Metropolis has the edge because they're fictional cities, so you could do a lot with it. But I agree. I reread this with the compact because I was going when I went on my trip to London. I decided to buy the compact because it's easy to travel too. It's easy to take with you. Even though I have the omnibus, even though I have the iPad and I have the,
Yeah.
I decide yes. So I at least got rid of my single issues. But I read it before when it was coming out. I never reread it, even though I had the omnibus. I think it's still in the wrap actually, and I forgot how great this was. And you're right. The thing is, it's really how God, like you mentioned. First of all, the police are not happy with Batman. Most of them don't like Batman because basically he's doing their job better. So there's some jealousy there. Um, and to your point, the villains are very dangerous. So people get killed. Um, the Matoria, I believe this is when we find out that she's gay in that
Yes.
storyline. This is where she was, she came out.
She gets
Not
outed.
outed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's brutal for her. Her
yeah.
parents don't want anything to do with her. And so Firebug is in it
Hmm.
and his role's real interesting. So yeah, that's a pretty good $9 spent.
And it ran, I want to say, over 30 some issues, something like that. And obviously, Gray Rucker and Ed Brubaker, fantastic writers. And what they did was they co-wrote the first issue, and there's a night shift and a day shift, and they rotate who's writing which storyline depending on who has the day shift and who has the night shift. That was pretty cool.
Awesome. I am surprised when I looked. I do not think you guys have ever covered the on Gotham by Geeks
No, we never have.
specifically. I am
We never have.
shocked.
I mean, I don't
It's
remember
in the
if they.
title.
I know, which is interesting. They're bringing back Gotham Central temporarily during this Batman event for 2 issues. So that's cool.
Uh,
They actually
te-
confused me because they also they have a new book called Gotham. What's it General? This is the
the
hospital, and
hospital.
I
Yeah.
got confused because I'm like, why is it two Gotham Central books? And I'm like, oh no, one's General, one's Central. So, but I don't want to live in Gotham. By the way, even though I love Batman comics, I would never want to live in Gotham.
Oh, you'd be deranged if you want to live in Gotham.
I'd be living
Yeah.
in Metropolis. That'd be cool.
I ain't even sure that still gets destroyed quite a bit.
Yeah, yeah, but I would definitely want to live in. Was it Coast City?
Yeah.
That's the worst.
All right, Hassan, what you got?
Well, let's start with some Ghost Machine. So thank you to Brian Clark. I read the Ghost Machine 2026 Ashcan. So thank you.
Yep.
I'm very excited about the upcoming books. They hinted about First Ghost for a long, long time, and the creators on that is Brad Menzel, Jeff Johnson, Gene Hall. And Brad and Jeff are good friends. I love Brad's comic book work. I wish he does more, but he doesn't. He's mostly an author now, and of course, it's dealing with the White House. If there's a ghost in the White House, he's always does something with the White House or politics. So I thought it was a great intro. Gene Hall's art is fantastic. Then, obviously, with the work universe, what's this? Oh my God. What's the main artist on work? Jason
Fabric.
Fabrock.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fabric. He's a very slow artist, so they obviously can't just rely on him to have a workbook on a regular basis. So now they're doing like a Dire Wolf miniseries with Ed Benes. So I haven't seen his art in a long time. And then they're doing a Soulless book as well by some of the creators that have been doing, like the High Street minis and stuff. So I mean, it looks great, and also hints finally, we're going to get the crossover that we've been thinking of. They've been hinting about all this time, Radioactive Revolution, where Geiger and Redcoat will collide in a big one shot. And Geiger, I don't know if you guys read 24 by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. Dude, I my only complaint about these Ghost Machine books, they've been late. That's my only complaint.
Yeah.
But when they come out, you're like, oh shit, this is good. Especially Geiger. I think Redcoat. I still like Redcoat a lot, but Geiger, probably because of Gary Frank's art, is my favorite of all the Ghost Machine. Like Gary Frank's art, dude, he could draw like shitty comics. I'd be like, oh my god, it's Gary Frank's art.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that Ashcan is really good. And it's like does exactly what an Ashcan should do. Like
Yeah,
it's kind of just like it's like low like it's all black and white, but you like get an idea and it gets you excited for what's happening. Um I I'll just jump in here because I want to talk about a Ghost Machine book that I think is super fun, and that's the Trillion Dollar Kid. Uh, I don't have either of you read that yet?
yeah, yes. I read it. I talked a bit about it when I think you were out. But go ahead. I didn't read the last chapter that came out this week, but I read one, two, the first special, and then the crossover issues into the other two books.
Yeah, I
Yes, go
haven't
ahead.
read. So number two just came out, and it is part four of the Unbelievables. So I haven't
Yeah.
read the other pieces. So I started this, and I'm actually going to go back and read those others. But you're starting to see some crossover between like Halo and Hornsby,
Yes.
and the Rocket Fellers. I
Yeah.
think Trillion Dollar Kid is kind of a really great book. I can't quite. It has like this a little bit of Marvel, a little bit of Disney, a little bit of like a kind of like a cartoony vibe, but also not because it's fairly advanced topics, but it's a pretty fun way to see it bring these universes together.
$1 trillion uh, kid. I was gonna say baby. $1 trillion kid remind me of Richie Rich. I don't know if you ever read Richie Rich. You know,
Yes.
because and his parents. You never see. I don't think I remember his parents, but he's always rich and he had a butler. But this butler is a robot. The first issue was fine to me. I really love the concept more when he crossed over into the other books. And his interaction with the other characters made me like him more, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Ghost. I love Ghost Machine. Like I think I buy. I now think I know I buy every book. First of all, they don't publish that many books, um, and they're high quality for the most part. Again, I wish there were more on time. High Street is a great book,
Uh,
but yeah,
these come out more often.
I know that's my whole thing. And this was a little worried about. I think back when they first announced this, like I love Jeff Johns, but you know he's always has a lot his hands in a lot of things with movies, TV. I know they have some rights, and when he started doing the movie stuff, he was slower writer. You know, like he's been writing like 3 4 books a month, and then he was becoming late. Look, Doomsday Clock, and so it wasn't the art; it was him being slow in the writing, but. Still a lot of fun though. Still a lot of fun, and we're finally get to meet. I don't know. Did you guys read Geiger 24 yet?
Yeah, the one you just yeah,
Yeah, we
Junkyard John.
finally we finally meet the president of
Hmm.
the future, and
Negative Man.
so negative man. Yes, I think it's President Griffin. I think so. I'm really excited. Yeah, I did buy the official guidebooks as well, all 5. I gotta go back and read them. I only like went through the first one. I know, the first one was like I already knew about, so what didn't pull me in. But I need to go back and look at them. But yeah, really, really excited. Okay, Brian, what have you been reading besides Tomino?
All right. Well, I'll throw some names at y'all. Tony Fleeces, Junie Ba, Gabriel Hardman, Rosemary and Charles Soule. And what book do you think all these people been working on?
Godzilla, Twilight
Yeah,
Zone.
Twilight Zone,
No,
IDW. Y'all kept up with it?
No,
no.
I look
Thought
at
you might have
people.
because you guys
People
enjoyed the beginning.
like we're audio, but you should have seen Brian's face when we said we didn't keep up with it.
Hey,
It's
that's
like it's like a it's like
Yeah,
he
I'm the
just
one recommending an anthology book. This sounds so fucking weird to me, but it's happening more and more often. Um, well, over the last couple of days, I read issues 7 through 10, and they are fun. Like you got Twisted Tale of Taxidermy and the issue 7 by Tony Fleeces. Issue 8 by Gabriel Hardman, and it is a time travel tale mixed in with 50s atomic sci-fi B movies, which I enjoyed. Um, I'm going to be controversial. I know most people just like love Junie Ba so much, not an art style that just jives with me. But his tale was kind of a African folk tale by way of the Twilight Zone that was pretty interesting. Um, and then just released this week was the one by Rosemary and Charles Soule, which I really liked, called A Life Well Lived. It's about these girls in a modern day college go to a frat party and they're kind of bored. And I feel like every college has these tales of like blocked off tunnels under their school that go between the buildings and shit. Um, well, this frat house supposedly has one of them, and nobody knows where it is, but they stumble upon it and then get locked in there. And it's like this weird, twisted realm down there of science, like university science experiments gone wrong and underground nuclear bunkers. And the girls almost set off the end of the world by being down there. And it's just kind of fun what happens. There is, of course, the Twilight Zone twist to all of these, but they're fun. Like I've enjoyed all 10 issues, and apparently they are at least doing six more, and they're changing it up slightly. So from for volume three, which starts with issue 11 through 16, they're going to be black and white, but each issue will have one flourish of pigment in it. So they'll be kind of like, the Sin City where you got spot color and the
Hmm.
black and white. They're going to be doing that with every issue. I think the next one is by Mark Russell, and it's going to be some like atomic looking green from the looks of it.
The artist on that is Victor Alpi, and he's a good buddy of me and Raj's.
Oh,
Yeah.
you might have to read that one. And that's the thing, you
Yeah.
don't have to read all of these. Each one's
Yeah.
literally stands on its own. It's just
Because
like an
they're
episode
all
of the show.
available on Global Comics, uh, I just went through and downloaded the ones that I'm hyped about.
So I know we talked about the first couple.
We
Yes,
did.
Taco, for sure.
Yeah. And I've just
We
kept
got
up reading them because I've enjoyed them.
Yeah, it's like one of those books, like that's like the downside of the digital world is like I can't remember everything. If I
Yeah, and this one's
buy,
easy to overlook because you get a whole
yeah,
story in each issue, and it's like, oh, you have to remember that
yeah.
to go, or it's maybe a creator you don't resonate with, so it's easier to forget. But they are really good stories. Um, yeah, I'd recommend y'all pick them up.
I will go back and check it out. I got distracted because I got an email that my like 2 years in the making, Brian Stilfree's commission is finally being shipped,
Oh my
and
God.
and I went to check on social media to see if I could actually see what he drew, and he did post it. So it'd be surprised when he gets here. I know what he
Batman.
did. I mean, he's supposed to do Batman.
Yeah.
Now that I knew. I just meant how it looked like. Come on, dude. It's
I know what
Batman.
Batman looks like.
Yeah. I mean, he did the classic Shadow the Bat covers back in the day. So I definitely had to get
2 years.
to the traditional blue cowl Batman.
But since it's 2 years old, we knew it wasn't absolute Batman.
No, no, I still would pick the blue. I would. I want to do something classic because that's how he had a really great run on those covers. I did, the stick with non-Marvel DC. So I read a new book called Fort Psycho by Matt Kent and Brian Hurt. It's from Omni Press. Matt Kent, we talked to him at Heroes. He moved his imprint from Dark Horse to Omni. There's different reasons why he did it. I actually also read Comics the Magazine, number 6, as well. There's a interview by the creators. There's also an interesting ad. If you guys do get it, I won't say what it is, but it's on page 2. But and actually, what makes me excited is like I read the book. I really thought it was pretty cool. So and then I read the background how they came up with the idea. But let me tell you what the premise is. So it starts off with there's this terrorist group, and forgive me, I forgot the names of the terrorist group already. Oh, the Seven Seals, and so the United Nations created a mercenary group called SAW, Strategic Alliance Worldwide, and these are made of mercenaries. And for 10 years they fought the Seven Seals. Well, what happens is there's a massive attack, battle in Tokyo, and it was brutal that a lot of innocent people died. So finally, the Seven Seals were sent to prison, but SAW agents, because of all the deaths, were also arrested, sent to prison. But what you find out was the prison they sent to was an island. but it's not like it looks like a resort. So the government knows, the United Nations know that these guys did themselves a service, so they put them in prison on a nice island. But the premise is there is a spy among them whose job is to find a find the seventh seal, and because this, the leader of the seventh seal, the leader of the terrorist group was actually a member of the good guys secretly. So his job is to find him and kill him on the island. So that's the premise. Now, what makes it really cool is what the Matt Kent and Brian Hertz share a studio, and they were thinking he was coming up with this idea, and then he saw Brian Hertz love a whole bunch of GI Joe comics from Marvel, like up to 53, and he thought, oh, it'd be like, why don't we make it more like GI Joe, like all these colorful uniforms and names. So it's kind of like their version of GI Joe and Cobra. So that's like, and it felt really cool because the first 10 pages they all had costumes and code names, and so I thought it was a lot of fun. It's interesting. It's really good art. The cover really, it's like it has like a nice pink theme going with the cover, so it stands out when you see it. So I definitely really enjoyed it.
They had a crazy version of that at San Diego Comic-Con where they called it a comic in a can, and it looked like a can of baked beans.
Oh, really?
And I almost bought it. But I wasn't sure. Like, it sounded like there was a puzzle in it or something. It said comic in a can, and I didn't quite understand what that meant, so I forgot to go get it. But I need to figure out what was in there. Oni Press. You don't hear a lot about them.
But they're
Not
up
lately.
and coming. They're doing the Archie books now.
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah,
they
that's
did an ad for Sabrina, and they were trolling Marvel because the ad looks like the ad for Midnight, the new Midnight line, and then you flip it on Instagram and it's Sabrina.
that's pretty amazing. Yeah,
Oh,
they were talking a lot about Fort Psycho, Archie and Hell, and Mind Management, and then there's like a Judge Dredd Biker Mice from Mars crossover.
Yeah,
I don't like Biker Mice from Mars is interesting because it keeps like trying to show up. Like it's very niche. I barely,
I barely remember.
yeah, I like remember, but I can't say that like I was like into it.
I mean, wasn't it one of the many copies of the Turtles that we got in the 80s?
No, this was probably like a 90s thing.
Okay.
Like, but it was only a cartoon. Like, yes, influenced by the Turtles, but um, very small. And I think people want it to come back. I mean, it could. There's nothing wrong with it. Go for it.
It's like
Hope it works.
It's like Silverhawks. I don't know why he keeps coming back.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great example. I don't give a shit.
Apparently Brian likes Silverhawks too.
You like the
The hell's
Silverhawks, damn it!
what the
Dude,
hell's a
Thundercats
Silverhawk?
in space.
the freaking
Thundercats aren't
copy,
good either, though.
the copy of Thundercats, I would say, like there's certain things that they have yet to duplicate. Like it was like it was in a.
Why was one of the Silverhawks a cowboy?
His name was Bluegrass.
Oh my God, I never want to talk about the Silverhawks again.
Partly metal, partly real. What is not to love?
partly mental, partly real.
The damn
The
theme song.
the main guy makes me want to leave immediately.
I mean, there's a dude like the cowboy doesn't bother me as much as the dude that's like the linebacker in his when he pulls his mask down, it looks like a football helmet on its overhawk. That's always bothered me, but I do like the concept.
My brother had all the toys, both
See, your
Thundercats and
brother was gay
Silverhawks.
like me too. Exactly.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He had a lot of. Did you have She-Ra, the whole She-Ra collection?
I had She-Ra, I had
Yeah,
Jim, I had all the He-Man, I had some Silverhawks. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. I was cool with
He-Man,
it.
Gem, all that can come back because that's cool. But
And I
like,
am
So by the way,
disappointed you and Amanda and Anthony did not go to the Jim real life concert at San Diego. And I had to find out about it on Instagram. I
you
about
could
like shit when I saw that video.
you could have been there. You should have
I
gone.
would have sung every fucking song, even though if you asked me now, I couldn't remember it. As soon as they started the music, I would be singing along because I would remember it because it's weird like that. Hey, Brian, I got a question for you though.
Mm,
Is
I don't
Ted
like
okay?
Silverhawks. Ted is more than okay.
Yeah, I've been reading that. I'm not going to go into detail, but I just want to tell you, I've been reading it. That book is fucking weird in a
Yeah,
good way.
it's over. I finished it.
I haven't finished it. I've read the first couple issues. I still have half to go, but this might be the first Mad Cave book I get all the way through.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's trippy, and I don't know how you read it month to month because I'd be like, what the fuck's going on? I won't remember.
I feel like so they're I'll probably get a trade of that. So they're definitely collecting it and then they're gonna do a hardcover. But I was like, I gotta read this on paper. Like I actually wish this was on newsprint because it feels like this feels like a book that you're bin diving and you see the cover and you're like, what the hell? This is crazy looking. I need I need to get this. And then you get it and you're like, oh, what is this guy doing?
Apparently, you liked it enough that you read all of them, and now you want to buy a physical copy because you do not like to
Yeah.
buy physical copies. So,
I have almost all, I think I have all of Dave Chisholm's books in physical form.
uh, all I can say is it's weird, but I like it, and I want to know what the fuck's going on. So, all right, I'm going to talk a Marvel book, and I cannot believe this, but I have talked about this book often.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah. So, written by Jed McKay with artist Dev Malaya Ramanik. I could have just totally ruined that. Mark Spector Moon Knight, The Midnight Suns. And like, we're on like what issue 6 of this. Hey, Jed McKay has rebooted Moon Knight at least 3 times that I can think
I,
of off the top of my head. It might have been
Three.
more than that. That's just off the top of my head.
yeah, I think it's at least
We got
four.
Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, Mark Spector Moon Knight. I think there's some others in there that I can't remember.
Moon Knight and Moon Knight.
Yeah. Moon Knight and Company, My Three Moon Knights.
Yeah. Moon Knight
But
and Biker Mice from Mars.
this we're on issue 6. Issue 1 through 5 were okay. They just seemed like to continue the run. And this is continuing storylines. So um if y'all remember, the Midnight Mission was a real creature at some point. Well, it got killed. And while Mark Spector was being tortured and a by Zodiac and some other folks that are his enemies, in a psychiatric facility that made him think he was going crazy. In the background, all of his people all his supporting cast had been um, taken, and it's by like the Midnight Mission's progeny, like it's ancestor from space. It's like some sort of demon giant creature from the abyss, and it was mad that the Midnight Mission got killed. And it's teamed up with some of Mark Spector's other weird supernatural enemies. And it's taken Tigra and his vampire friends and Eight Ball. And Mark wants them back. So what's he do? He goes to Clea, the best sorcerer supreme that we have right now. And what does she do? She pulls out the tarot cards and and draws for a new team of Midnight Suns, and it was fucking cool. So there's an issue of Mark going and recruiting them all, and she pulls the Moon and the Empress, which is her and Mark, the Hermit, the Devil, and the Chariot. Now, who y'all think the rest of them are?
Well, the cherry is
The
Ghost
devil,
Rider.
yeah, the Devil's pretty obvious. Daredevil,
Hmm.
and the
A
Hermit is
hermit.
Blade. Is Blade.
Oh,
Yeah, that one wasn't quite obvious. Um, but I do love Jed McKay's Clea. She's taken a little bit of a back back role here, but Mark goes and recruits Robbie Reyes as the Ghost Rider. And if you all remember, which you may not have, and that Avengers run where Moon Knight goes bad and Khonshu takes over the world,
Hmm.
um, he did some bad shit to the Ghost Rider. So Ghost Rider doesn't necessarily have time for him, but they hash it out. And Ghost Rider's in, and then he's helping Blade kill some vampires, and Blade's like, I don't need your help to kill vampires. This is my my thing. He's like, what do you want? You don't need to get my attention. And as soon as Mark says Midnight Sun, Blade's just like, stop, I'm in. I don't need to hear another word. Let's go. Um, and then Daredevil doesn't want to have shit to do with him. And the fight scenes between the two of them is pretty damn cool. How it's choreographed, but Mark basically begs him, and Daredevil joins. So the team is brought together. They use the Charger, the Ghost Rider Charger, to bust into the where the Midnight Mission is, because this is the creature. And it's kind of alluded to that Mark is double crossing the Midnight Suns with Clea's help to get his people back. Like he's pretty well, his whole plan is to sell the Midnight Suns to this creature to get Tiger and all them back, and they don't know it. And he's setting them up because he's a dirty rotten snake. But the second issue when they're in there is amazing. So he has this sword that was possessed by a dragon. Well, when Mark went to attack the creature in the mission before, it pulled the dragon out and it's given it life with all the wood and nails and everything that make up the inside of this dimension. So it's a giant wood dragon that's just attacking them and breathing fire. The scenes of them fighting the damn thing is cool. I think I showed y'all one of the pages, but it's just fun. Like these two issues really brought the book back because it's kind of just been okay, but these two issues are really good with the storyline. The art's amazing and the story's just fun.
I'm
I
happy
can't
that
say that
you.
about a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm happy that you're happy about Marvel title.
Yeah, it ain't often, but I read these. I was like, oh, I gotta share these pages. They're fucking cool. So
There's been four McKay Moon Knight volumes so far.
so I missed one. There's Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, Mark Spector.
I think there's just two
Vengeance of
Moon
Moon
Knights.
Knight. No,
Oh,
there's
yeah,
Vengeance
Vengeance.
of the Moon Knight.
Vengeance. Okay. Um, but yeah, you guys got to check these out when the story's over because it's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, excited for
I
issue
read
eight.
all of the other ones not too long ago. They have been really good. And then
Yeah,
you're
I
like,
felt like
check
the
this out. I'm
last
like,
run
will
kind of
do.
got a little slow and it got a little street level, which isn't my thing. And this one began that way, but it's getting back in the supernatural craziness that I was enjoying. But, all right. I don't know which one to use next, so somebody pick.
Hassan.
Okay.
Or is
Okay.
it me? It might be me.
Yeah, go
It
ahead.
might be. I can't keep track. They're kind of lost track a little ago.
Yeah, I will talk about an Ignition Press book that I've talked about before. And that's Innards, written by Rob Guillory and Sam Lofty. This week, issue number 3 came out. Cover is super crazy. We kind of are just learning more about each character. There's this there's some shadiness going down with the company that is mining the Lucy. So since that book just came out this week, I'm not gonna dive into it too much, but it's very intriguing. I like the art, the colors, the I should probably mention the colorist, Jean-Francois Beaulieu. Uh,
Who is the one that's done a lot of the stuff for Scotty? And is he doing Dork too?
oh yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, like he works with those guys.
yeah. It's it's just a cool, dark sci-fi book. If you look at the cover number three, it is some creepy shit. Um, so
Yeah, I've only
that's
read issue one, but I liked it. I need to get the
yeah,
rest. It's a weird sci-fi. It's not
yes.
like anything you've really seen before. It's a different
Yeah, if I
type.
mean it feels like there's definitely vibes of like Event Horizon. Oh, there's a video game that it reminds me of. Dead Space kind of feels like that.
I need
Oh,
to get back to it. I read issue one. I was planning to get caught up.
All right, Hassan.
So there's it's a new number one, but it's not a new series, but it's come back. The first volume ended very well. I'm talking about Dark Knights of Steel number two, written by Tom Taylor, who did the first series, but a different artist. Otto Smith is the main artist of this series, which is pretty cool because he did DC versus Vampires. He was the artist on that series, and I thought he did a phenomenal job. And it's an Elseworld series as well, so Elseworld is still around. DC is still doing that. Um, and in this, this is a good intro. It starts off in the past with talking about again the how when the Kents, not the Kents, when Cal and Bruce were young. We also meet a guy named Victor who, if you know anything about Batman lore, it's not going to end well with this kid. But then we jump to the future or the present day, and it's a whole setup in this volume. Wonder Woman and, well, not they don't call her Wonder Woman, but Diana and Zor-El, who really is Power Girl. Is it Power Girl or is it Supergirl? Really, I think it's Power
this
Girl.
is Zala L.
So yeah, Zor-El. So that's Power Girl, right?
It's supposed to be his sister in here, so
Oh,
I'm just assuming it's like literally her name's Zala. So I just felt like it was a new character since it's literally his sister.
that's fair. I guess the appearance. I don't know why I think of her as more like a Power Girl than maybe because she's bigger, not tiny. Maybe it's the physical aspect of it. But anyway, they're getting married. I won't get into what happens, the spoilers at the end, but we also get to meet Arthur, which we did meet in the backup of the like a spin-off miniseries they did last year. We also get to see Bruce and Talia together, which is always pretty cool. I guess these versions. So yeah, um, I'm excited it's back. I thought it was a really strong first issue. It's a good way to reintroduce us to all these great characters, and with the cliffhanger at the end, it makes it very interesting. And I'm excited to see what happens.
So this takes place after the first series in All Winter.
Yeah,
Isn't Batman still up north at this or
yeah.
Bruce? Yeah.
Batman still, yeah, he's by himself. He's not with the rest of the people that we know. Yes.
And as Hassan said, we had the All Winter had the backups with Aquaman, his whole back history. But then they did collect it right after this issue one of Dark Knights of Steel to special Heir to the Sea. And it collected all those backups into like a 45 issue or 45 page one shot. And that's where you see the Ma and Pa Kent in this world. And instead of raising Superman, they end up, they're soldiers and they end up finding baby Aquaman after a battle, and they end up raising him
I
and
thought you
keeping
said
him away.
fighting baby Aquaman, and I was like,
Finding. There are some badass warriors in this world, though. Um, Intense you don't mess with. Uh, but they're trying to keep Aquaman or baby Arthur away from the Atlanteans who have been ruled are now ruled over by Black Manta who wants to kill him. So they're trying to raise him in secret. They know kind of what he is, but they haven't really told Arthur much. And they're just trying to keep him hidden till he's old enough to and strong enough to go take back with the ring. So, all right. Well, let me see what I got here. I know one Hassan's wanting to talk about. Oh, since we are mentioning Aquaman, just a quick side note. If you're not reading Emperor Aquaman for this new run period, it did switch over to be called Emperor Aquaman. We're on issue 19, 20. It's a fun book. It's one of the really good DC books that I think is just vastly underrated because I don't feel like anybody's talking about it except us occasionally. It's really, really fun.
I think so
Um,
too. Jeremy Adams is awesome. I find all
yes.
his books entertaining.
And they really leveled up Aquaman with the access to the blue. Without spoiling the latest issue, it's just there on the cover. He's fighting Poseidon. Um, Poseidon doesn't like that he's got all that power over the oceans. All right, Hassan, you mentioned one we both read. Let's do Superman Year 1000
Oh
annual.
yeah, I thought you were gonna talk about another book. That I was like, oh okay, let's go there. Uh, it
Whatever
is
happened to the Omega Champion?
yes, and it's written by Joshua Williamson. The main story is drawn by Eddie. Is it Eddie Burrs?
Eddie
Arrows.
Barrows. I
Barros,
love that
thank you.
dude.
Yes, I I think he's an underrated artist. Like when he
Yeah.
drew Batman or Detective Comics for a bit, I thought it was amazing. I love his how he draws Superman and Superman characters. So I think he's a phenomenal artist. There is a cool backup too. Um, Actually, speaking of Dark Knights of Stare, it's drawn by Yasimi Putri. I believe that was the artist of the first series. But yeah, so Brian, go ahead. I was just naming the creatives. Talk about it.
Yeah, so if you have been following Superman since the end of KO or most of DC, period, Superman's been gone, even from his own titles. So we've had the reign of Superboys, which this is kind of wrapping up. It directly follows the stuff in Action Comics, which was the tale of Superboy, Clark Kent, Superboy in the past, with the Martian Manhunter, Mary Marvel, and Booster Gold trying to find our Superman lost in the time stream. So they go and try to recruit a Superman from the past to see if they can use him to help find in the future. They end up at early Superboy unintentionally. But they do enter the time stream with him and kind of use him to hone in on Superman. And they do find him at the end of this issue, not spoiling anything because he is back now. But this annual is what has happened to Superman since the end of the Omega. Well, since he got the Omega power at the end of KO. Um, and he has been traveling through time. He is pretty well over the course of the issue. He becomes the time trapper,
Yes.
um, which is kind of funny because Superboy Prime's been the time trapper before, so now it's his turn.
Yeah,
Um,
I like the concept of the time trap of being a different person all the
all the
time.
time.
Because it wasn't Cosmic Boy at one point time trapper.
Cosmic
Yeah,
Boy was. There's been just random people.
yeah,
There's been Superboy Prime, Doomsday, now Superman. I'm sure there's been
yeah.
a couple others. Um, but the more Superman is trying to shore up time, the more and more he becomes locked into becoming the time trapper, is kind of how this is going. And one big dangling plot thread from KO and all the stuff that led up to it was, you know, Darkseid's Legion from the Absolute Universe killed all the other versions of Legion. There's just a few survivors, and Superman's trying to find out what happened to his friends as part of this. During his trip through the time stream, he comes up on one of Hassan's favorite Justice League members from the, what is it, the 853rd century,
Hmm.
Chronos,
Something like that. Yeah.
and not Chronos, but Our Man.
Yeah.
So he runs across Our Man in his time ship, and Our Man's advising him like time is unstable, and he's the one that's telling him the more you shore it up, the more you're going to get stuck. Ends up fighting, I think, the Infinity Man.
Yes, from the Legion of Superheroes, which was always been a weird villain to me. Like I never understood the his motivation except that he hated the Legion. But go ahead.
Well,
That's enough.
Clark Clark does end up in the 31st century, and this is where we start seeing him in the time trapper robes. He doesn't have the chains yet, and he sees a encampment. It's the area is destroyed, like the last we saw it, but he sees a encampment of folks, and it's this woman with two little children. And Clark thinks it's Saturn Girl, and she's like, "No, it's not. I'm just Imra. We don't need to fight. Lots happened since I saw you last." And she tells him we're the ones from Darkseid's world. Now that we're out of his influence, you know, we're not the people you thought. Please don't hurt us. And their version of Lightning Lag comes out, and you know, they're showing him that they're trying to rebuild this world and you know honor the Legion that they you know. But Superman's like, I have to send you back, and they're freaking out like you have to send us back to Darkseid. Well, you know, that's going to be worse than death, literally. And she's literally holding her babies in her hands while she's doing this. And Superman's like, nah, I can save everybody. And you know, he has some choices because he's trying to bring back his team, but the more he uses his power to secure the timeline and protect these people and bring back the four different versions of the Legion, because this the fifth or the sixth? No, six will
Oh,
be the Hayden Sherman one that's
yeah,
about to
yeah,
come out.
yeah.
So, but we see flashes of all five versions of the Legion at this point of the main three, and Superman's just like he ends up winning, of course, but he starts getting lost in time and starts to get sucked into the end of time. And this is where Superboy comes and saves him, which we have seen in the last
Action,
issue of
yeah,
Action
Action
Comics.
Comics, yeah,
Yeah. What was it, 1100 where that happened?
yeah, 1100, yep.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool to see young Superboy save Superman here because he's literally about to be sucked into the last moment of time. Um, and then we do get a little follow up with Darkseid's Legion, happy with their kids and still alive. And Our Man's there with them. Um,
But it didn't.
so
The happiness doesn't last too long.
no, because Zealot from the Wildcats comes with Brainiac
Not
and
just any Brainiac. Brainiac 1 million.
yes,
So the
One
like,
million.
yes, from the 1 million.
Oh
Like
God.
yes, the yes. So we now have a Brainiac 1 million, and instead of collecting cities, he's been collecting legions.
Legions. And we've got at least six jars of Legions at this point. But I can't tell if they're different versions or if it's just different points in time because I do see the Mark Wade version that we're about to get an omnibus from. I see like the original like team from the 60s, but then I also see their versions from future timelines, like as
Right.
they're older.
Like you see
So
the
it's
five
not
years
necessarily,
Legion. Like it's like to your point, it's not just the one version of Legion, it's different times of Legion as well.
yes. And we see the Bendis version, and then we also see the post Zero Hour team with characters that are dead.
Unique to them too.
Well, the unique to them, but like Kinetic is dead, or she's in at least in a different body before she died, and this one's got her in her original body um, as well. So we're seeing different versions of the Legion and different time frames within those. And when I joke about Zealot from the Wildcats, but it's really our old friend Pandora is back. If you remember from the mysterious character that was in all the issues of first issues of New 52 that DC didn't know what to do with after that.
I know. I was like, oh, okay.
But Brian, you know who's also with them?
Well,
Your favorite.
at the end,
Yeah.
Brainiac wants to make
Who is
sure.
my favorite?
Wait. Let me just tell you the premise.
Okay.
Brainiac wants to make sure that there's no future Legion in this new Earth that Cal Clark created. So he brings an agent to be their inspiration and versus Superman. Who he brings? Cyborg Superman.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. That's awesome.
I thought that was a really good twist. Like the Cyborg Superman coming in, and like, oh, that's a really good twist. The Brainiac 1 million, and like now it goes back to when they announced the Legion of Superheroes book that should be out beginning of September. I'm gonna pick it up. Shocker. I read the premise. I'm like, even though it doesn't say absolute Legion, it sounds like an absolute concept, right? It's the universe is dark, but here's some hope, and that's what it sounds like, because generally in the past, the Legion of superheroes was the future is always hope or bright, and they do become heroes, but it's never been dark. I mean, let me say it differently. It's become dark later on. There's definitely some future storylines where it gets really dark.
5 years later is pretty damn dark, Hassan.
Yeah, I know, but that wasn't the start of Legion. That's my point. But yeah. Do you know?
Right.
Speaking of Legion, I'm going to just go on a tangent on Legion. So DC has announced all these new collections, and now how many times could I freaking buy this book? So they have the Great Darkness Saga Deluxe Edition, and then they had the Curse Deluxe Edition, which really collects the Paul Levis and Keith Giffen's run before the Baxter series. It was like the first real Legion series. I got the original Deluxe Edition. It's like, cool. Then the DC decided to do the new Deluxe Edition. Like, why would I buy the new Deluxe Edition? Well, maybe because they have some new cool things that was in the original. Okay, let me buy the new one, get rid of the old one. It's fine. I get a new one, better DC Largo. Okay, fine. They announced now they're going to do a Great Darkness Saga omnibus, which collects different things than the deluxe editions. I mean, collects.
Both of us are going to buy it.
They collect because they also now, for the first time, they're collecting the DC Comics Presents issues that took place during that time period. I'm like, I mean, like, how many times? And then, well, I'm hoping this is a hint that maybe because they remapped it, are we going to get a omnibus after this that has like ongoing? Because what's weird about DC in this time period, they have the Legion of Superheroes in hardcovers collect like all the Legion of Superheroes hardcovers collected before the Great Darkness Saga. Then there's a pause. There's no collections, and then they collect it 5 years later. They have never collected the Paul Levitz run Legion of Superheroes volume that he did by himself. Keith Giffen did a few issues and he left. They never collected in hardcover. They collected the first 12 issues in trade, but never in any real collection. And I'm like, I want that in a hardcover omnibus.
Well, and then we got 5 years later, but we don't have post Zero Hour, all of that run, which
They at least did the fat trades.
but not all of it.
No, I
And
know they
then-
stopped, but at least they did fat trades. I think if At least they did that.
That's
Yes.
the Legion Lost era up to the Cabinet and
Yeah.
Landing. We don't got any of that, but now they're about to put in the stuff after that with the Mark Wade Legion is coming
Yeah.
out too.
Yeah.
So they're
And the
skipping
re-
all around on Legion.
but you know why they're doing the Mark Ray? Because Mark Ray's back in DC. So and
Yeah.
he's Mark Ray sells. So let's just be honest. So
Anyway, we got anything we want to wrap up with? We've been going for a little over an hour now.
I've got one more sort of
Go for it.
it's a it is a Dark Horse book
wow.
um by written by Zach Kaplan and art by John J. Pearson. Zach Kaplan, he's a super nice dude. He wrote a book a while ago called Poor to Earth that I'm sure not very many people read, but I thought that book was super fun. Sort of likes these big concepts, like mental concepts, but this book is um a crime like AI crimes division, and they have like a AI system that helps people create a perfect crime without leaving evidence. And the creator of this AI program is murdered. So there is like a sort of standard FBI agent guy, like who's very into traditional crime solving techniques. And he is partnered with a super, like, kind of chaotic, very smart tech expert. And she helps him, and they don't want to be partners, but then they realize that they need to help each other. And so it's like philosophical sci-fi noir with so if you're not familiar with John J. Pearson's art, he kind of reminds me of Martin Simmons from Department of Truth.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like not as chaotic, but the both the art and the story give me like this Department of Truth vibe. Also, like if you like Department of Truth and you like X-Files, uh I think you would like this book. It's only five, it's going to be 5 issues. Um, but very, very cool. Like you're like, oh, I got it. There's a crime happening, and then the world starts unfolding, kind of like what happens in Department of Truth. And you're like, okay, take me on this ride. Um, I would say if you haven't read anything by Zach Kaplan, go check out some of his stuff.
Awesome.
So I just hit so many publishers.
Yeah.
Dark Horse, remember Dark Horse?
Yeah, occasionally I remember.
I bought a Dark Horse book this week too. I haven't read it yet. Part of the Mignola verse called The Foundry.
Oh, I
Also,
saw that. Yeah.
kind of looks cool. Like there's always these from the world of Hellboy books coming out, and it's so
Yeah.
hard for me to keep track of them.
I know. I know. That's why
But
I
it looks
don't
cool.
read that. I don't read that much of those books anymore because it's like I there's so many. I don't understand. Yeah, it's hard. It's so hard to keep track of them.
Yeah, I would love if I could just like go in and they'd be like, here's all the trades of all the ones that came out, and I just pick one, and then I just that would be cool. But it's almost harder to do. Like I feel like Dark Horse would do better if because all of them are 4 issues. If they would just be like not do singles anymore.
Yes, do graphic novels. Yes.
Yeah, just be like, oh, that's the whole story. Because all the time I'm like, oh, cool, a new Hellboy thing, Mike Mignola. I love both of these things, and I'll buy issue 1 and then like forget, and then I'm like, oh, issue 4 is out. Shit, I'm not trying to track down 2 and 3, but I kind of do want to read it. But this is this is a tough world, guys.
I know. I know.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. I think we covered a lot of new books this week. Stuff
Yeah,
we haven't talked about before, which is always fun.
and
So,
to Brian's point, I think a lot of non-Marvel DC. I mean, we did cover some, but I think we this is one of we spend more time talking about non-DC Marvel.
well, got plenty to go check out today. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm not going to say what we're covering next week because it's a crapshoot depending on if I'm here or not. So, um,
I would like to say it's a top secret, but you'd be excited to hear it once we do it.
either way, you'll like it. Anyway, well, thanks for joining us. And Hassan, where can they find us online?
You can find us on all social media platforms, including TikTok and YouTube. Comments Discourse 114. Please leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcast, and also send us an email at commentsdiscourse114 if you like this episode, or even our new spin-off episodes that Brian has been doing with Anthony called SciSac. And they've been becoming more of a fanfare, and I've been digging it as a listener, just listening to them. And yes, Reed Richards is the worst father ever and husband.
Worst husband ever on top of that, not just
Oh,
worst one.
oh, it's like
He's
you
the
read
worst.
those early Fantastic Four stories, you're like, oh my God. No wonder Sue went to a guy that smells like
Namor.
fish. Yeah, so you'd rather go with the guy that smells like fish than be with her husband.
Oh, all right, folks. Well, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week.